So, here we go. What exactly is a list? Well, a list is a variable that you can declare, once again, as always. And it doesn't matter what you name it. You could name it platypus, you could name it deodorant, you could name it spring. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to name it I'm going to just name mine my list because I'm boring. So my list is going to equal the square brackets. So, the square brackets, that just determines what a list is. It's not the parentheses, it's not the curly brackets, it's physically the square brackets. So if I hit print, my list, it'll give me the square brackets. There's nothing in my list, so that's only going to give me the square brackets. But of course, if I were to simply do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm putting commas in between each of these, but guys, just to let you know, because that's what's going to separate different items in my list. And then, 10, and you know what, I'll even put a 0 in there. So now when I hit execute, it printed my list. My list was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 0. And that was the order that I had my list in. So now, and the same thing will work with words. I can simply type in, for those that already saw this ahead of time, banana, cherry, let's see here, key lime. Let's go with key lime. Whoops. Remember your quotation marks, David. Key lime. In case you haven't noticed, I'm just naming a bunch of pies. Strawberry. Let's see, French apple exists, right? Yeah, French apple. It has raisins and whipped cream in it. Yeah, that's good. That's good enough. So now if I print my list, I go banana, cherry, key lime, strawberry, French apple. Right? So you see, it printed out what was in my list. But what if I want just a specific number in that list? A specific one of these? Like, I only want banana. So you would think, okay, that's the first one in my list, right? So I would simply, in my list, put my square brackets in and put the number 1 inside my square brackets, right? So to give me my list, but give me the first item on my list, right? Let's execute that and see what happens. No, it gave me cherry. Now, I knew that would happen, so why did it do that? Well, remember how before when I was going over the flowchart I said that none is different from 0? Yeah, 0 is an actual position. 0 is an actual input. Physically typing the key 0 means that you have done something. So therefore, it is not physically nothing. So 0 is actually an input. So this right here, banana, is input 0. So if I put input 0 now in this my list and hit execute, now it will give me banana. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. And you know what? It'll work the same way if these were numbers. So I'm going to put a 10 in here, then a 9, then, I don't know, 89, then 5, then 7, then 30, then 1. Position 0 is my 10. So even though I'm using integers here, I hit execute, and it gives me 10, because 10 is in my 0 position of my list. So this is not an integer that I'm looking for. This is a slot. So this is slot 0, which is right here. So you wrap your head around that concept. Even though this is also blue and these are also blue, this right here is not an integer. This is not looking for specifically a 0 integer. Heck, I'll even put a 0 integer in. And I'll hit execute. It still gives me the 10. It's specifically looking for the slot in the list. So yeah, and this was slot 0, the 10. So, if you guys can figure that part out, once you've understood that concept, move on to the next video, because now I'm going to go into actually sorting these sort of things. Sorting those sort of things. Wow, that was a redundant sentence.